What's going on, family? That's right, we're here. I hope that you have had a beautiful start of your week. Let me adjust the volume of this record so that it doesn't overwhelm today's conversation. Sorry, I started the show a little late. Well, it was a little delay of 20 minutes, but things happen indeed. Welcome everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Let me verify something here. Something is a bit off with the positioning of the... Exactement. How was everyone doing? Welcome. Thank you, as I said earlier, for tuning in. As always, it's a pleasure to do the show. I really hope that you started the week on a positive note. If not, as I always say, remember that it's just a cycle, it's just a moment in time, and persistence, perseverance, and being consistent and intentional with your desire to overcome whatever is holding you back is going to be a way to, get you out of the troubles and the vibrations you seem to be finding yourself in. La milliardaire, comment ça va? Merci beaucoup d'être là. Bienvenue à toutes et à tous. J'espère que la semaine a bien commencé. MQT61. Bon, vous avez vu l'introduction, the intro screen, changed a few things. It's more clean. The logo is, right here at the bottom of the video. Yeah. Eventually, as you evolve into, a more mature approach to the whole thing, you tend to realize that less is more. So maybe it might be too minimalistic, but you know what? It's all right. I like it like that. So yeah. MQT61 tonight, this morning, this afternoon, this day. I will be talking about a few things, so feel free to jump into the comments and let's interact. Man, there's a lot. Well, let me just start by saying that last week's show, MQT60, was absolutely dope. We had, and I had the pleasure to host Dinava Tavares and Keisha together for a 3 hours conversation. If you haven't watched the show yet, you definitely want to go and check it out. It's MQT Monday Quality Talks number 60. We had a beautiful interaction. Still cutting through all the little clips. I'm going to be posting probably 4 or 5 more. And giving you, ladies and gentlemen, a condensed version of the conversation through small clips, but yeah, it's worth watching from top to hand. So as I said, if you haven't watched it yet, you got to check it out. And yeah, MQT61 this week. Well, let me start by saying this, right? After we did the show last Monday, I found myself in a very strange mental state where I think when you are somebody who has high expectations for himself or for herself, you tend to not be satisfied by, what most people might find to be properly convenient, and sometimes you forget that you've done quite a lot, and it is important to just take a moment for yourself. Because otherwise, you end up hitting a wall, which is, usually materialize in, if you're an artist, inspiration block. If you're somebody in everyday life, it could be burnout, could be so many different things. And even though burnout is pretty much the same, I would suspect for most people. I did find myself in a bit of a moment where I decided, actually that started the whole, since the beginning of the year. I and I was really intentional in taking time for myself because I felt I wasn't ready to actually look back at 2022 and all of the things that have happened. Losing my mother in February 2022, and me having to keep it together and maintain harmony and strength through these very complex times was not easy. Was not easy at all. Good evening, Ralph Peck. What do you do? What do you do? What do you do? What do you do, family? Beautiful family indeed. Queens and kings, welcome to the show. As always, a pleasure to have you. Thank you for joining in. And, I really was like, okay, look, if as a matter of fact, it's not even, I actually was hit by the whole situation. So much so that I had to take a moment. I had to take a break. I had to really, really understand the importance of truly and profoundly being just in stillness. It's not a cool feeling for somebody like me. I'm extremely I'll keep myself busy. I love what I do. I do what I love. And I must say that I ran into towards the reaching the end of the year last year, I ran into this big emotional block where I didn't enjoy music anymore. The industry I'm in can be extremely toxic, right? And as tough as you might expect me to be, and as I am, yeah, of course, there's moments where you just feel like things get a bit too much. Things tend to turn a little sour for you eventually because it's so overly played. The way people behave, the way people act. It's more often than not, a lot of deja vus. But it's like, come on, like it's like chill. We've seen it, we've done it, we've been there. Can we move on to something else? Can we move on from these gimmicky attitudes? And I think all of these things kind of got me to feel really overwhelmed. So much so that I carried that energy with me even through the week last week, and got to a point where I hit an actual emotional wall, and I was like, okay, what is up? I literally talk to myself. That's what I do. I do a lot of introspections, and I sort of like become a spectator and at the same time an actor of my own reality, and sort of like trying to understand, why am I feeling a certain way? Why do I feel frustrated? If there's any frustration, any blocked energy, what can I do to unlock? And I've realized that one of the things that, I stopped doing, right, as a result of me having to just stay 100% after my mother's passing last year, I forgot a lot of essentials. Such as, I take, for example, one of the things that I've been doing, and I'm actually extremely proud that I've been doing this for quite a long time now, but I would spend literally 3 hours every day educating myself, listening to, podcasts and learning about anthropology, Pan-Africanism, et cetera, history, things that really make me feel passionate, geopolitics, et cetera, et cetera. And so, on one hand, you educate yourself, you also maintain a certain level of connection with spirituality and trying to maintain yourself as harmonious as possible. But then eventually you realize that, oh snap, all I've been doing is yes, coming to realization with a lot of things, but at the same time being carried away with with the futilities of the material world we live in. So taking time for myself, I understood the necessity to really, really be conscious of the necessity to take moments, if you can, take moments for yourself, take moments for your mental health. It's a real thing. It's it's not necessarily a luxury. You don't necessarily need to go on a vacation, even though it's always nice if you can. But if you can't, it really just takes a moment to isolate yourself, within yourself. And it must not be easy for sure if you live in an environment, if you have kids, family members, etc., etc. Finding space for yourself alone may be complicated. But I think that ultimately, if you're able to communicate the need for you to really be isolated for a certain amount of time, I'm certain you can achieve that. And with that being said, even and the distractions are many. Even when you, like myself, I have my house, but I'm by myself. Sometimes you just carry your mind, keeps making noises and you keep being distracted. That's why you really literally have to tame yourself like an animal, and literally talk to your subconscious mind and talk to yourself and really make sure that you accept this moment, like chill, calm the fuck down. It really is important, because otherwise, look, you can find yourself feeling very, very, very shitty about a lot of different things. And for me, yeah, I started to feel very negative about a few things, and including this industry, including this business. And I was just like, but I have that all the time. As a matter of fact, if like me, you've been in this business long enough, even though you know how it goes, you feel like yeah, every other month, every other 7 months or 12 months or 6 months, you're just like, what the fuck am I doing this for? But that's the reality of the business. And we keep going. And 23 years later, here we are still. So it's sad sometimes that the business and the politics. Actually, the business is one thing, but what is very annoying is the politics. And that really is something that tends to take away from the pleasure and the joy of making music, and actually really, really sharing the gift that we have. So, bon, comment ça va? What's going on? Absolutely, let me put your comment here, sorry. Absolutely true talk, isolating yourself to put your pieces back together. Absolutely, absolutely indeed, sir. I agree, and it's necessary, even though it's not easy to accomplish. It's not easy to accomplish at all. Because you always have something that calls you back to the material world, and eventually you don't want to find yourself in a situation where shit gets so bad it affects your actual physical self. So from something that bothered you in your mind, it becomes subconscious, start nourishing some negative things and energies within you, create diseases, discomfort, etc., etc. There's so many things that can result in you not taking the moment for yourself. I spoke about this on a couple of shows here on MQT before, but the thing is that this is a ever-going conversation, because as you evolve in time and in experiences in life, you tend to look at things from a different perspective. So, it is not a boring subject. If anything, it's amazing to realize that as much as you know, or you know that you know, but at the same time you forget, because when you acquire that knowledge, you don't question it anymore, and then it becomes so common that you forget to fall back to base. What do I mean by that? When you there's a proverb. I don't know if if you say it like that in English, but if you don't know where you're going, look back at where you came from originally, which means it literally is about understanding that journey. Like, how far have you come? Because sometimes indeed it is hard to find yourself in the present looking towards the future, because there's just so many things that come into your daily life challenging you emotionally, intellectually, spiritually, etc., 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 that you get caught into the matrix, and that system becomes a part of you, and then you stop truly living your life with purpose. And look, this conversation is really profound, and I find it important to share these words of sharing my personal experience and sharing these words with you, because first of all, somebody may need to hear this and be encouraged in maintaining, focus, because as much as things can get, tough, you need to get tougher. Um, and in order for you to do that, you have to take moments where you just don't do nothing. Like literally last week, I did, and I told everybody I'm doing the bare and absolutely strict minimum. I will not be getting back to work until I feel like I'm ready. And I decided that January was going to be a month where I need to take moments for myself, which was not the case before because, yeah, it was a different vibe, then. And now this year, especially after everything, as I said, that I've experienced in 2022, not only the negative, but sometimes you get caught up in so many things that you forget little pleasures, little moments of joy that you have had, because you know what? You overlook. You overlook because it becomes insignificant just because you get caught into this train of thoughts and these habits. And because we're animals of habits, you got to check yourself back into the right habits. And I notice for me, it's gonna be, for example, I'll see if I start gaining weight. I know that there is, because I'm not somebody that I'm not you're not gonna see my anxiety visibly. It's very inside, and I have a strong self control. But then eventually, when it gets too much, I mean, the only person that was really able to see, and obviously, she was my mother. So, but she could tell right away something is off. Um, and she would have the right words and she would know exactly what to advise me to do. She would make me like a nice little, tea. And yeah, she had all these little, magic stuff that she would do. What a mother, true, because you can have a child, but that doesn't mean you can be a mother to that child, unfortunately. And that is something that, and some people, as my same applies for a father, right? You can be, a genitor, a father to a child, but it takes a father to really, it takes true courage and love and determination and devotion to truly be a father and a mother. So I was blessed to have both. And so when you hit sometimes, if like me, you've lost both your parents, you don't really know where to go. Think back in time where you hit a specific moment in your life back then. What were the advice that were given to you? The advices, sorry. And so same thing applies if you still have your parents. Thankfully, you can go and ask, and if you can't speak to them, then there's always going to be somebody that's experienced enough, that's old enough, and has gathered enough knowledge about life that may be able to enlighten you about whatever is holding you from accomplishing your full potential. And one of the things that I've learned is, if you do not rest, first and foremost, nothing is going to be clear, because when your mind is tired, your spirit is tired, your whole body is tired, and you keep going, eventually what you're doing is you accelerating. Now your resistance may come into play and may delay the aftermath and impact of your misbehaviors. What do I mean by that is, the fact that you're not taking time is going to be, eventually getting paid. You're going to have to pay that at the end, and sometimes, as I said earlier, it can be very pricey. Rosaim, bonsoir. Comment ça va? Welcome, 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 welcome indeed. Welcome everyone to all the Bodhiists. Make sure, if you haven't done it just yet, press the like button, subscribe to the channel. Of course, you can show love via the donations. That's always appreciated. Super chat, super stickers, you name it. Feel free to support. As I said, it's always appreciated, and there's no such thing as a small amount. Just do what you can, right? And so, eventually, going to pay it if you don't take that time. And so I started to feel like, look, I'm messing around now. I am not taking enough time. I would, like last year, I would sleep 5 hours, 6 hours max. My body would, my mind or my body, I don't know which one was controlling who. And I would just sleep 5 to 6 hours max. It's not sustainable, it can be. And of course, if you're a high achiever and you want to get things done, you find ways to set your mind in such a way that you're capable of recuperating in a short amount of time. But it's not sustainable, in my opinion, if you do it for too long. And that's why you need to take breaks where you actually allow yourself to reset. So I was forced to reset emotionally. I was drained. I was really, really, really low. And you notice, I usually talk about these things afterward. Yeah, after the whole thing happened. Simply because it's always nice to talk about something that is gone. Then at least for me, I prefer, because it's also a question of preserving my own private life and making space for me to go through whatever I need to go through at a time, and then share the collection of information that I've gathered from going through that specific experience. And at the same time, I also understand that there's not many people like me, not in the sense that I'm unique and da da da, but my level of resilience has been exposed drastically to a lot of challenging times. Ooh la la, Fake Free Entertainment LLC. That's right, that's right, that's right. Thank you so much for the beautiful donation. I appreciate that a lot. God bless indeed. God bless indeed. MQT is a blessing. Oh, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. Aïe aïe aïe, aïe aïe aïe, comprenez cette émotion. Vraiment, je me sens ému. Aïe aïe aïe. Oh, thank you, family. Please jump into the comments. Feel free to chip in. Definitely share your own experience. We're here to talk about it, and yeah, just interact, because I'm pretty sure I'm not unique in that sense, because we all go through rough times. The thing, what I meant to say, because I don't want my words to be taken out of context. I've realized that, and it's not a cocky statement, but it's just an observation and a factual thing. I've seen people going through equivalent levels of pain and not be able to handle them at all. And everybody have different degrees and capacities, so it's not throwing stones at anybody, but it's just observing facts and understanding that, well, even when you think you don't have the strength, truthfully, if you look deep enough and allow yourself to surprise you, you will find that you're stronger than you may think, and than most people may think of you. Because I've realized that one observation is that a lot of the time we are a product of our environment. So if people said you're not this enough, you're not capable, or don't do this, you have a tendency to abide too much to whatever people say about you and be influenced too much about that. You end up not living your life. You end up not really being your full potential. And therefore, if a situation of challenge comes into place and throws you off your actual trajectory, you you lose it. You lose focus, you lose self-confidence. And again, all these emotions are okay, because of course, when you work hard and you devoted to what you do, anything that's going to come puts itself between you and these goals and these achievements that you're trying to get at or make happen is unjust, unfair, etc., etc., etc. And so you have to overcome and surpass the victimhood. You have to be able to take ownership of the situation and understand that, okay, this is part of the journey. Challenges are there to strengthen you. Yes, a lot of them can be very unfair, but again, it's life. And I hear so many people saying so many things about it can be easy. I mean, yes, you can make life easier, but I don't really ever think that life is easy in a way that it's all jolly and happy, and life is what it is, and it's also what you make it. So of course, if you have a tendency to be negative because shit is hard and life happens, well, then that's what you're going to be having around you. Your world is going to be filled with that kind of energy. But if you have a tendency to be like, look, life is such a way. I'm challenged right now. I'm not able to do this. I'm not able to do that. I'm not exactly where I want to be. I think that I should be there, but I'm not. Whatever the reason, whatever is triggering you to feel a certain way, switch that. Switch that and realize that you are not a victim of the situation. But in order for you to do that, a lot of the time we underestimate the power of rest. Because again, if you and I'd say that too because I've done it. I've literally taken days of where I felt like sleeping, I would just sleep. And you might say, well, you can afford that because you're an entrepreneur, you run your own business. Yes, no, not really actually, because if I don't work, I don't make money. Um, Simply put, let's actually be, because everybody's trying to play a role. Everybody is in their posture and in their, sort of presentation of themselves that has to be matching a certain kind of energy and vibe. And I understand, we all play some sort of roles, but at the end of the day, whatever role you're playing, it better be you. It better not be a fake version of you, because otherwise, what happens is that you keep living a lie that you have to justify and that you have to keep very, very in guard, very, 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 very strongly. So that nobody can unveil, discover, but eventually people find out. Eventually people find out, and this shit can clap back at you in a way that's messed up. And so, fast forward to this week, actually, towards the end of the week last week, I came to that conclusion where I said, okay, what am I, what's going on, what's happening? Let me take a moment to really understand, why am I feeling this way? And once I did that, I realized, okay, some of my feelings are valid. My emotions are valid because they are, the fruit or the result of a frustration on this and this and that level. All right, cool. Thing is, the frustration that you feel on this and this and that level, if you put it in a balance with everything else that's happening in your life, even though nothing will ever be 100% perfect. It does not exist. I mean, you can believe in that, and it's amazing. It's great to say that everything is amazing, because yes, ultimately, sorry, it is. But the fact of the matter is that you have to be realistic, and being also overly positive can be a bit too much. So maintaining harmony, um and so after I did that little self therapy, if I may, I I started doing my breath work, because that's another thing. When you do the rest thing, when you actually take a moment to rest, you also have to add and understand that breathing is very important. Breathing is so important because through breathing you can actually regulate, so many emotions, so many things within your body, within your mind. You can heal, you can reactivate, cells, your blood cells, etc., etc., connections. Breathing and oxygenation of your system, mind, body, um, is absolutely and utterly essential. I've learned that with time, and a very good friend of mine whom I've had on the show several times, Carla Luna Veda, sent me a couple of beautiful exercises to do, breath works. If anything, you should check her out on Instagram, Carla Luna Veda, Carla with a K. And look, it's amazing. It adds to the exercises, because again, you've got to exercise yourself. It's not just going to the gym that is important. It's also flexing that respiratory muscle and oxygenating your mind, etc., etc. These things may be very futile for some people, but I can guarantee you they are very real. They are very, very effective. And so, I came to the conclusion that I was all right. Things will not always be 100% perfect. It's impossible. But one thing for sure is that if you are convinced that whatever it is that you're going through, whatever it is that's making you feel unsatisfied, etc., is just a construction of your mind. And really, if you think and you look at the bigger picture, all of these little bumps along the way are blessings in disguise. It is a matter of just taking a perspective, looking at things with a certain distance, distancing yourself actually from these realities that may cause some discomfort in your life, and sort of like look at them not for the problems that they are, but try to see what is behind that, right? So yeah, that's what I did, and this weekend I added more rest, sleep more, and this Monday, boom, back at it, and it's amazing because. Trust me, if you had seen me last week, I was like a freaking. I mean, I wouldn't say zombie, but I was definitely. I was. Oh God, I was not my normal self because again, you push the machinery so much, so far, that at a certain point, you're just like, yo, it's too much. Emri Agnon, good evening, good evening. How are you? Welcome to MQT 61. I hope that y'all are good. Is everybody feeling comfortable? Look, I got myself a little drink. I hope you don't mind. You know, yes. And I'm about to light my cigar. As you all make yourself comfortable, if you just joined the show, where's my lighter? Oh, Lord have mercy. Yeah, man. So, well, convincing ourselves is good, but for some, keeping it up for something is another. Convincing ourselves is good, but keeping it up for some time is another. Yes, absolutely. That's man, it's profound. What you just said is exactly it. You know, because but again, you also got to be tolerant with yourself, right? You can't just be hard on yourself and demand that you automatically apply the knowledge that you've acquired through that specific experience that got you to understand what you just said. So let me simplify because I realized that what I just said was a bit complicated. It's a mouthful. Um, Before we get into that one, Fake Free Entertainment LLC. I'm confident eating a salad and enjoying the show. That's right, brother. That's right. That's right. That's right. I appreciate that. Enjoy the salad. Don't be lying to us. I'm pretty sure you ordered the burger. No. So convincing ourselves is good, but keeping it up for some time is another thing. That's right. So I'll give you the perfect example to what you said, which happened to me. Um, right, 2 weeks ago. Oh, a bit more than that. Mm, excuse me. I have to make sure this cigar is properly lit because water. C'est bon. Impeccable. So yeah. For example, I had to do some music. I had some work to deliver, remixes, original productions. I know well, at that point, I don't need to convince myself because I know what I have to do, but I have to convince myself that I need to do it. But I'm not in the mental state or energy. I don't feel like it. I literally have not even started the computer. Just did a few emails, took time, watched some documentaries, freaking falling asleep in front of the TV, whatever, just doing things that I'm not used to be doing. You know why? Because once you've been convinced of the necessity to make a move towards something or to realize the necessity of getting this and this and that done, it takes a moment before you can apply it. Me, I'm somebody, and I've learned that with you learn. I guess we all learn that different ways. But with time, for me, I realize that I'm I'm a Libra as well, so I guess it plays. But I take a long time to take quite a few decisions because I'm always going to be looking deeper. I'm always going to be looking at what potentials. I need to look at the different. We call it des équations, des inconnus multiples. So the unknown results of the many equations that are posed is what I'm going to be looking at. And so when you sort of move like that, you are convinced, but you're still analyzing. Now, it needs not to be something that impeaches you to still move and to keep making things happen. And that's where I think a lot of problems have an issue. It's like, okay, they're convinced that they gotta be going to the gym every day or 4 times a week or whatever, but they're not doing it. Now there's accountability that comes into play. You've got to have the drive, and you got to find a way to. Well, you're gonna have to literally tell yourself that nobody else but you can actually, take you to the gym, right? Now, another thing that I've noticed is, practicing the art of doing certain things repetitively for a certain amount of time. And when you realize that you're capable of doing that repetitively and consistently, then you get encouraged. You're like, oh shit, I can do this. After all, I'm not such and such thing that somebody said about me, or my mother or my father said about me when I was lazy, this, lazy, that. No, I take my time. And so when I decide to do something, I'm going to do it. For example, right, one thing that I've learned early on, and my mother and my father were very pivotal in making sure that I learned that a successful person is somebody that makes their bed in the morning. Maybe true, maybe not true, I don't care. But that, especially seeing my father and my mother being very resilient in life, courageous, always on point, always up early in the morning, getting things done, truly being responsible. That is something that I acquired early. Was I applying it all the time? Was I convinced? Yes, I was. Was I applying it all the time? No, because you get comfortable. You eat a salad in front of a YouTube show, and oh shit, I forgot to do this, right? But the truth is, it's okay, because there's always a chance for you to do better the next day, even though nothing is guaranteed, especially not life, especially not tomorrow. But you also can't live your life as if tomorrow is going to be over, even though it could be. We don't wish that. We definitely pray for all our lives to be extended to a point where we grow old and can see the grandkids and great grandkids. But when you understand that, okay, yeah, today I didn't get to do this and this and this and that ritual, the bed, the this. Okay, it's fine. Tomorrow, but tomorrow, really do it. And then you realize, okay, cool. I can act upon my decision. I can act upon the order I gave myself. This morning, I'm going to wake up. Doesn't matter, what I feel, I will be making that bed. And so for me, that ritual is something I know if I'm not making my bed, which is extremely rare, but it happens. It has happened actually, 2 weeks ago. Yeah, there was one. No, and it happened for one day. That's how conditioned my mind is. I felt like shit when I went back into the bed. I was like, no, 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 no. Hey, no, no way. No, I'm not doing that again. But yeah, I make my bed every morning. As if somebody would come to my house to visit. No, because you never know. You never know. You gotta be, yeah, everything gotta be on point. So those are little things, and I would say, small tasks really help you realize that um, you can be trustworthy. You can trust yourself, right? Because I think another thing is that much as we expect, we would like other people to trust us, we need to trust ourselves. And if you know that you can demand of yourself very difficult things, very small things, and accomplish them, and very difficult things, and still be consistent and able to deliver, look, at that point, nobody can tell you anything because you know exactly who you are, because you've actually, accepted all sides of your personality. You've accepted the lazy version of you, etc., 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 and embraced all of these aspects and make them, a strength. At least that's for me. That's the way I function. So, yeah. Anyways, yo, I want to talk about Andrew Tate, man. Lord have mercy. Before that, sorrow. Here is something interesting: living fully today, but knowing that we might get another chance to do better tomorrow. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Definitely. Definitely. We get another chance. That's the thing. But we take that for granted because, technically we've been sleeping and waking up every morning. But just that, for example, Mountain of Inspiration, comment ça va? What's going on? What's going on, King? Blessings, blessings, blessings. Indeed, indeed. This is the thing, right? Gratitude is, I think, it is a heavy conversation, but it's light at the same time. But you know how we do. We get deep, brother. I think gratitude is the biggest secret that maybe isn't told or is told that people overlook. And it's very simple words that can be, compared as mantras. Giving thanks for the air you breathe every day. Giving thanks for the life in you and around you. Giving thanks because that's the thing. You whomever, whatever you believe in, as long as you understand that you are the fruit of a creation, whatever that creation might be to you is fine. Gratitude for you being you is essential. And so, if you apply the sense of gratitude for the moment you have as you cross paths with somebody, and they greet you or they take, they just act kind to you, gratitude. It may not come natural for a lot of people. I know that. And I wasn't always as grateful as I am. I was grateful, but not, I'm so grateful that I'm grateful for the things that are not so nice in my life. When my mother passed away last year on February the 15th, 2022, I was here in Portugal. I had to say goodbye over the phone. But I gave thanks that at least my older brother and my younger sister and their kids, their eldest kids, were with her. I was in excruciating pain. My heart bled Because you've got to understand, I'm a mommy's boy. I'm a mommy's boy, but not in the spoiled sense of the term. But I was spoiled, yes, in the sense that my mother showered all of us with love, and showered me with love, and we had a relationship as a mother and son and mother that was profound, profound, yeah, almost friend like. But I would never say that my mother was a friend because I had too much respect and too much. Um, in French, we call it pudeur. I don't know how you say that in English, but yeah. Man, God rest her soul. But I love my mother dearly, and I give thanks. I give thanks. I give thanks because I knew that, you know what? Not that I'm thankful that my mother left this world. Of course not. Why would I be thankful that my mother left this world? But what can I do? I believe in God. I believe that it was a time. The way she passed on was terribly painful. It was very sudden, very unexpected, and um, ever more so painful, and unfair. But death isn't fair. Death isn't fair. It hits when you don't expect it, or even, and maybe sometimes you're lucky enough to expect it and get to prepare yourself and do what you need to do and leave eventually peacefully. But some humans don't get that chance, and well, that's okay. This is what their purpose was. They served it, and what can you do? You know, um, and people might say, yeah, but if you have if a child dies, would you say the same thing? They haven't even lived their lives, etc. Look, no words can heal your pain. No words. But you see, um, when you get to when you get, I mean, that's really tough. Um, but when you're able to reach a level of faith and gratitude for life, that you're, even through these very terribly painful moments, still able to give thanks because you've had that experience, because you know you've been able to experience that child. For example, my mother, I lost my older brother when I was when I was, j'ai perdu mon grand frère, my first son, my mother's first son, sorry. So my older brother, our older brother, my siblings and I, when I was 10 years old, I think. Um, and the pain, my mother told me she could still feel that pain even 30 years later, 30 plus years later. But I don't know, she's developed a strength and a spiritual connection with her son. We all developed a connection with our brother, respectively. And my siblings and I, that's very unique to all of us. And acceptation is one of the deepest and most complicated thing to achieve, but it's necessary. It's necessary. And yeah. Thank you, brother Sora. I appreciate that. We say, well, most of us are not grateful for the little moments we have because we tend to wait on the big things. Exactly, exactly. Emery Agnon said our mother is our God on earth. Absolutely. But you know what? Our fathers, we give our fathers a bad rep because I don't know why, but we overlook the fathers. And yes, I won't lie to you. I lost my father in 2014. It was one of the most difficult I mean, there's nothing that compares to it. And yes, losing your mother is the same pain but deeper. That's right. It's true. It's true. This can be explained because of relationship that we have as sons with our mothers, as daughters with our mothers, because we feed from their breast and they hold us so close to them. even as we grow adults, etc., we have this different relationship with father, indeed, because it's the authority in the house. There's going to be maybe a bit of more of a conflictual relationship. But me, I am blessed that I'm the kind of son, I love both my parents equally the same. I did not love one more than the other. That concept didn't even make sense to me. So, I have to say, thank God for giving me that heart and the capacity to love both of them. Uh, yeah, equally the same. But yeah, I understand that. As you said, the learning process, the learning phase, the learning curve, to be able to start appreciating small things is difficult because, again, it's small things like, for example, I'll well, and one of the, for example, if you go through a phase in your life when you don't have money, you can't afford, a decent meal, which moments that I've gone through in my life. Um, I have to tell you, it's a very humbling moment. It's a very humbling moment because you realize that, yeah, it's deep. It's a deep conversation tonight, brother Emiliano. Indeed, 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 sir. But I've realized that, in these moments, when you find that, oh snap, in the cupboard I have that little, bag of rice, I have a bit of oil, some salt. Well, I can do something, right? You figure out that very quickly that that is a blessing, and that can hold you up for the next couple of days, until you see something coming through. But there's something that somebody, oh, this is beautiful. I this weekend I didn't feel like, a friend of mine was celebrating her birthday, and she was like, "Look, I need you to come to the birthday, please. Come through." I said, "Look, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to because, well, I had a studio session on Saturday, but then I managed to postpone it. I mean, actually, I told them to do their thing because they didn't really need me. People want you to be in the studio so they can just, I guess, flaunt, which is cool. But I was just not in the mood to be in the studio with anybody and to be part of any like Instagram post or anything like that. And so I decided to go. It's far, where she celebrated her birthday was a bit far. Was an hour and a half away from my house, and sorry for the noise. Yeah. And I decided to go. Took Uber, went there, got there. You know, anyway, and then I met this gentleman. At first, we just shook hand, and that was it. Mm, mm. Rosaham, the pain never disappears. We just learn to live with it. Absolutely. That's why, let me get to that story. It's going to echo exactly what you just said. So, eventually, we get seated. It's a, massive celebration. She really went all out. It's, like she rented out this massive estate, and, there's like, gourmet chefs, this and that. It's, dope. So I get seated next to this gentleman who is a very successful businessman, African brother from Togo, who runs a very successful, business in America, multi-million dollars business in the sports world, and a very humble guy, really, really humble dude, like honestly humble to the core. So that's my vibe. I was on the table I was on. The table I was at was a table of heavy weights. Financially as well. Um, and all of the guys were really cool. Some of them were like um, investors. Some of them were into the football realm. Da 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 da. Movie directors. I mean, you name it. Anyways, and me and this brother would start talking, and we talk, and quickly it gets very deep. And he he and I we start talking about struggles in life and what he went through, and he came from very very humble, if not close to even poor family, as I paraphrase him, and he made shit happen, but it took courage, resilience, um, um, audacity, because to believe in yourself is audacious. It's a bet that most people are not willing to do. And when people are not ready to bet on you, you might give up on yourself because you expect of people to believe in you more than you would believe in yourself. Um, um, Exotic treasure, you're always dropping gems, always deep. Thank you very much. We try, I can only drop what I experience, and I'm glad it resonates with you. And um, thank you very much, thank you very much indeed. And so, this brother and I, we talk about what he went through, and he literally had just lost his mother a couple of days before that event. And I look at this man, very, very, man. I even have goosebumps talking about this. Like literally, literally. I mean, I was touched by the courage and the pride. There was elegance and pride in his grief. It was. Oh man, I was so inspired. I said, look, brother. First of all, my condolences, and you know, let me just tell you that you're one of the strongest brothers I've ever got to meet, man. Because you literally just lost your mom 4 days ago. Seriously, much fucking respect. And you're able to come. It's like, no, I had to. It's a commitment I had. I have to be there, and tomorrow, starting tomorrow, I'm gonna be getting into that. It's a different vibration for sure. So yeah, I'll fucks with that. Sense of priorities. Some people might say, well, it's a sense of priority. You're going to a birthday party. That's the thing, right? If you think about it, I was almost not going to that birthday party. He had all the reasons in the world not to go, but yet we still went and we met and we clicked in a way that he was like, yo, man, everything that you say, fuck, we are very similar. I say, and then vice versa. I was like, yo, for reals, man, this is deep. Kindred souls. When you expect it the least is when you're going to be exposed to things that appear to be very, very finite, but are grandiose in your life. And we may never speak again after that, even though we exchange numbers. God knows, we don't know. But that moment, that celebration of life, that combination of minds, that reunion of spirits brought to life something very powerful. The acknowledgement that gratitude is the essential necessity, especially when you go through tough times. You've got to be able to still, even though you're not willing to smile, but if you meet somebody, you got to be able to put a smile on your face. It might not necessarily be honest, it might not necessarily be the realest smile, but you still try to give love to people. You still try to acknowledge that, yes, what you're going through is fucked up, but you don't know what someone else is going through. So therefore, let me not be an ass. Let me be grateful. Because this experience, as fucked up as it is, whatever it is that I'm going through, is there to strengthen me. But this is a choice. This, again, some people don't even think like that. Some people are just like, fuck that, I don't want the stress, and they start closing themselves off, and they reject the real world, and they start building their own sort of like space of comfort, which understandably is the kind of attitude someone might have. Of course, that's why I respect fighters so much, to willingly go towards punches and feel and be hurt and get your bones broken, etc. It is very, 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 very courageous. Best believe me, when I used to be a competitor in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I'm a blue belt heavyweight Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, by the way. Even though I've not practiced since quite some time now, but when I was competing back then, 2016 and 17, trust me, I was shitting my pants. Literally, I was like, no, what the fuck am I doing? But then, my maestre, my coach, my team was like, yo, it's time, let's go. and it's time. We gotta go. Can't can't run away. You gotta go. And it's okay if you lose. It's okay. You've learned something. I lost my first fight just because I was tired and I overdone my cardio. So the guy, and the funny thing, the guy rolled with me at the time. I was a blue belt. I was a white belt, and the guy that rolled with me was a blue belt acting as a white belt, which is actually incorrect. But anyways, being that I was trained by a very my trainer is, man, he's a bone breaker. I mean, literally that was his sir, his nickname in the fighting world. That guy is super heavyweight. Look at me, he's literally two sizes bigger than me, like larger. It's just a fucking monster, but the sweetest guy ever. Um, but yeah, when it comes to getting down, that guy's a beast. And learning from him, as heavyweights, we have to move in a certain way. There's certain things you cannot do in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu if you're heavyweight. You can't. It depends on everybody's body structure. Da 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 da. And so I lost just by points, but I still lost. Fine. And so I did another. There was another fight. I had to fight the same guy another time. I don't know how it worked out, but I had to fight that guy again. And that guy didn't show up. So supposedly, that's what I've heard. They were not expecting me to be that tough. And so in this world, for whatever reason, egos get bruised very, very quickly, especially if guys really do this that's their life, that's their everyday thing. And it's not for me. I mean, I love the art, I love the martial art, and I understand the philosophy. For me, I'm doing it for me, and I enjoyed, and I felt, and I understood the necessity for me to go through the fire by attending competitions, because it's a self-challenging thing. And eventually, him not showing up, well, by default, I was given bronze, third place in my categories, which was like white belt, heavyweight, bronze, and I was like, oh shit. Well, here we go. Because I was there, I showed up. I was there ready to fight. The guy never showed up. Maybe he was there, maybe he wasn't. Doesn't matter. Got the bronze. Cool. Lesson to that is what? I was grateful I learned the lesson. I didn't go there with an ego. I went there with humility. I shook hands with that guy, and we worked. And I worked humbly because, first of all, I'm not here to disrespect him, but I'm here to win. This is not it's not a game. It's a game, but it's not a game. It's very serious. I have to be serious about, the craft that I've learned, and that the knowledge that I've acquired has to show in that specific moment. And it has showed, and my weaknesses also have shown, lack of cardio. So, went back and we worked on that. But bottom line is, by going through tough things, by experiencing tough moments in life and overcoming them in parts alone, but having the right people around you will help you go a long way. That's why it is important to know who are next to you when shit hits the fan. You can never call people friends, people who are there only when everything is amazing, glitters and fun and this and that. This is not a friend. Well, you may call them party friends, cool, but this is not a friend. A friend, in the true and absolute sense of the term, in my personal understanding and consideration, I have buddies, I have a lot of buddies, but I have few friends. And even fewer brothers. Even though I respect everybody and I consider everybody as brothers and sisters, but there's brothers and there's brothers. It's not the same thing, not to be confused. But with that point being made, you have got to understand who is next to you, who is with you, who is around you when shit hits the fan. When you don't have that dollar or that euro or that pound to buy the next meal. You have to be able to count on somebody to be like, yo, bro, this is what's going on. And they don't even ask no fucking questions. They're like, yo, what the fuck, what are you talking about? No. Come on. Give me your shit, give me your bank account. It's not like, oh well, okay, so I'm gonna give you five now, but you gotta give it back to me. Like, well, it's fine, I'll give you back your money, but like what kind of friendship is that? You know what I mean? Um and MCJ's Art Studio, good point. Knowing your tribe can help you to stand strong. Absolutely. You need a serious, strong tribe around you. I mean, otherwise yeah, I mean you can be a lone wolf, but eventually that also gets to meet its own limits, you know just like a tribe, everything has its own limits. So you can't fully 100% rely on just one thing. There's a combination of elements that's going to allow you to get where you want to get, to go over and go through whatever you're going through, and overcome, etc., etc., etc. But yeah, so true friends, I know people. I mean, things that I've done for friends, I don't ask them about it again. It's like, done is done. Cool. Oh, hey, by the way, like, it's fine. you know I've learned, a very very good friend of mine, very wealthy man, billionaire as a matter of fact, told me one thing. He said, hmm, I don't borrow money to my friends. I give them the money. Oh, papa, que chamoukoulou coucou! Ah là là! Mais quel cadeau! Quel don! Aïe, 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 le sponsor des sponsors, l'homme qui rentre dans le VIP sans la carte. Faites péter les bouteilles de champagne. Aïe, aïe, aïe. Ça, vraiment, c'est un sponsoring qualitatif. L'argent de la crypto, on est en train de manger ça aussi. Aïe, aïe, aïe. Alléluia. Yeah. So, when he said that, it struck my mind. I said, whoa. He said, yeah, you know why? Because money is the root of all evil, right? But it doesn't have to be. Problem is, when you're very fortunate, and people around you who are not, but are people that you could count on when you were not fortunate, when you would, some of them will grow envious and jealous of you, etc. You've got to learn how to deal with those and keep them at a safe distance. But then you're gonna have your hardcore people, those who will keep you in check, but you got to make sure that they're good. Not because they're gonna betray you, because those are the people that will just never betray you. But if you hurt them, they'll leave you alone, and you'll never see them again. But they'll never talk bad about you. And as he was talking about that, I was like, that's the kind of man I am. Because me, if I consider you to be a family, like, my peeps, I got you. You don't even have to question. I got you. Even if it means we have to split the little bread I got, we'll split it. It's okay, because that's just the way I am. And I'm not saying that somebody who doesn't do that is a bad person or less or this. No. We are all different. But my point being that even if I do something, I don't do it from the position of expecting something in return. However, if I keep giving and everything I get back is somebody that take whatever I'm giving for granted, that's where it's like, okay, look, I understand, but it's not going to work like that. Like, then you refrain. You don't even have to mention anything. You can mention me. I'm somebody like, I don't have a problem. Like, I'm very comfortable in conflicts. I'm very comfortable dealing with complicated shit. But I also know my sides. I also know my dark side. So I'm just like, let me not put myself in that position, because I switched to become a little bit more, sharp like a machete, very become a bit sharp. So I prefer to stay cool, very diplomatic. No, it's cool, then you move on. Because that's the thing. A lot of people become very aggravated about situations that, respectably and understandably so, feel very close to their heart, because, it's like, okay, well, this is not how you're supposed to be treating me, this and that and the other. But it's like, another thing you need to consider, people can only give you what they have. And that was the conversation that I had with that brother, when I met him this weekend. I said, and he was like, you're so right, man. It's like, this is so true. You can only give what you have. He said, I said the same thing to my team and to people, to my folks, because it's like, if you've not been nurtured by love and with love, it's going to be hard for you to understand even what it means. And even when you've been nurtured with love, you also don't necessarily get the meaning, right? Because, for example, those are very simple example, right? If you've been nurtured with love, etc., as a young man, both your parents, gave you great examples. You've never seen your dad do some messed up shit, whatever. Same for your mother. Then you start, taking that example with you in life, and so you meet a woman. Eventually, one of those. Sometimes you have, because you have that savior complex, as Sister Kiara, who's not on the show in the chat tonight, but Sister Kiara says Captain Save a Hole complex. Yeah, not a mercy. Then you get excited. You're like, oh my god! And as we were talking with Keisha and the Nava last week, with the Meghan and Harry conversation, they well, well, that's a different situation. He's fucked up in his own ways, but I'm bringing it back to my example. For example, when you have this nice base and you have values, how to respect, to treat a woman with love, and you've been taught all these rules, and da 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 da. And then you start applying these rules with a person that never experienced that. They don't know how to deal with you, and then their first reflex is going to be, I need to destroy this because it's not real. It's not possible. It is not possible. And so, Keisha, I am not Admiral Severho, because you. Okay, Keisha, I notice you love to throw me under the bus a lot. I notice that this is called bullying, but it's fine because you're the president of us all, so it's okay. We learn from you, our leader. And so, the funny thing is that eventually, that doesn't mean that you're a victim. No, but you're a victim of your education. You're a victim of your lack of experience, and then you learn that, oh shit, no. There's a lot of things I need to be careful about, because then you become needy. You become, understanding love is something that you acquire with time and experience. That's what I'm trying to say. And knowing how to give the love and being accountable with the kind of love you give is very important. Tu as dit quoi? Es-tu un snow dans la narine? C'est pas possible. Do I? Oh, hey, I don't. Nobody said anything. Are you serious? No, it's not possible. I don't have a snot. I don't have anything in my nose. Are you serious? Keisha, ne raconte pas des bêtises. Hein? People, please come through. This guy is actually talking nonsense, trying to mess around. Are you serious, Kay? No, I don't. Well, anyways, shit happens. At least I smell good. Anyways, so gratitude. Okay, you're fucking around. No, come on. They've not been watching nothing for 1 hour. Do I? No, fucking hey, man. Okay, y'a rien. Arrête de conneries là. C'est quoi ce bêtise là? N'importe quoi. Bon. Voilà, c'est à cause de vous que l'Afrique ne progresse pas. Voilà, c'est à cause de vous. Vos mauvaises habitudes. Man, I'm telling you, this guy always like to do. I'm telling you, but it's fine. It's fine. When he invites me on his show next, you will see what I'm going to do to him. I'm going to bully his ass. Bon, so yeah, he was inside. Okay, of course. Oh my God. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. So you see, the funny thing is that your haters didn't say nothing, but you will watch the replay. Oh, Seigneur. Vraiment. I'm telling you, man, Keisha's a fucking bully, man. Seriously. God, he always likes to invite me on his show when I'm tired and I'm half asleep. Then, everybody on the club shadow is making fun of my ass. It's fine. It's okay. It's okay. For reals, man. Damn. Lord. And so yeah, with that being said, look, it's all about gratitude. It really is all about gratitude. And as I say this to you, I remind myself that right now. I mean, God, I'm, goosebumps for real. It's like only when you've gone through rough and tough things in your life can you acknowledge the importance of gratitude. Because my mother would tell me something about pain, and actually it was relating to women. And we were talking, and she said, it's interesting that you tend to attract women that have gone through pain. Um, Not only, but you attract some, definitely you do attract women who have gone through pain. And she said, I've raised my boys, I've raised you, my boys. I mean, my older brother and myself, and my other brother that died in 1990. Um, you know, I've raised you to be good man. I've raised you to be respectable man and caring man. So the kind of energy you have a strong connection with your femininity, in the sense that I don't feel any particular ways about being emotional necessarily. Not saying that I'm going to obviously get into um, the crying thing, and no, no, no. But I mean, by emotional is that I'm very comfortable with me being me and embracing all aspects of my personality. And of course, we have, as men, we have a tendency to be in conflict with the feminine side, which tends to be more caring, etc., etc. All these qualities that we tend to bestow on women. Maybe it can be a caricature, that's up to everybody's appreciation. But in that particular sense, the point was that some of us, and that's why it's interesting to as a human to understand. Well, if you know that, talking about a man and woman, right? A woman has gone through enough traumas that she can be toxic to you, even though you might be very attracted to her. Maybe you might very well be into that person, seeing yourself with her. Sometimes it's okay to just be that presence in her life that can just help guide her through her pain and really gain, especially if it's a woman that has been, fooled and done wrong by a lot of guys for whichever reason, some, and a lot of the time is their own trauma. So being a good friend, being okay being a friend is important, because a lot of the time is people have a tendency, mountain of inspiration. You see, cyberbullying is real, and it's getting worse. You see. I'm telling you, I'm a victim of it. um, it's okay being a friend. It's okay. And yes, of course, it doesn't mean that you won't have, no attraction, but you've got to be able to put that aside and allow the friendship to take place so that you can just be that presence, and make sure that you don't represent a something that looks like a threat. Because you see, if as a person, right, you feel like, let's say you have money and you feel like the person is next to you because of your money, that's exactly how some women feel. Because of their beauty, they're like, oh, that guy just is doing this because he wants to bang me. um and that's where you've got to be, even though even though it might be true, yes, you definitely would see yourself with her. You've got to be able to put that aside, put your self-interest aside, and see what you can add to that person's life. Same goes with friends. I mean, in general, it's just abnegation and knowing when to put the other before, and also knowing where to also safeguard yourself from becoming also a crutch for that person, because you don't want to be that neither. You want to be able to clearly, live a life that's comfortable and that is not filled with negativity, right? And so, point being, gratitude, taking a moment with yourself, introspection, honest and truthful analysis of the situation, observation, and internalizing, talking to yourself. You're not crazy because you talk to yourself. As a matter of fact, it's very necessary. Talk to yourself, talk to your inner mind, talk to your subconscious mind. and inspire positive things instead of negative stuff. Those you know, word is power, right? So watch what you say and watch what you ask for. That's why, again, it takes very, 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 very strong practice in order to master the art of really, you know, nurturing the right kind of thoughts, even though you might want to, mess somebody up. But you gotta, go through that emotion. Don't also that's the other thing. We tend to reject the negative. Now. Embrace it as well. It's fine. Embrace it, but don't obviously act upon it. But embrace it, because if you don't embrace it, then it's gonna become that thing that keep adding up, adding up, adding up, adding up, adding up, and then and mess with you. Keisha, you're becoming a bully, man. I'm still seeing it though. Snotilele. Just look when you raise his nose. Just a huge thing hidden. Ok, tu m'énerves, hein? Je n'aime pas tes bêtises là. Oh. Bon, with that being said, Keisha, Diamond Man. Wow, man. If that was only possible, imagine the kind of money I'd be making. Bon, anyways, all of that is cool. Let's go to some Andrew Tate, man. Come on, yo. Did you hear that he just tweeted yesterday? No. Yeah. Yesterday he tweeted. Let me read. All right. So, man, okay. Let me start by saying this. Andrew Tate. For those who may not know the guy, the man has been arrested together with his brother. I believe his brother's name is Tristan. Over human trafficking accusations in Romania. Well, Andrew Tate is known for boasting about his wealth, about his woman. He's got very strong views on how men and women interaction is to be and the position of women in life. Very provocative, intentionally so, but also very intelligent, very educated guy, good looking, again, rich. Tries to empower young men, etc., and give them, advices, etc., on how to be a man, how to be a top G. Too much pressure on the host. That's right. Mountain of inspiration is no longer too able to concentrate. Of course, now, man, Boddhi just put on the face mask so he leaves you. I'm telling you, I'm about to do that, man. Free top G effect, free entertainment. That's right. Why do people care so much on the side, on one side or the other about the top G? That's the thing, right? But you know what? I have to say, a lot of people, especially those who, agree with him, but then they say, wait, I don't agree with everything. Well, of course you cannot agree with everything somebody says, because that would just be you, writing whatever you're writing. But the problem is that I really don't necessarily have an absolute opinion about the guy. I mean, I've watched so many interviews of him. I can see the moments where, especially there's the one that he did with Patrick Bet-David. Very interesting. He was, making very interesting point. Obviously, he sidetracks a little bit here and there, saying some of the dumb misogynist shit that he might say. Because I do believe that, yes, I understand what he's saying, but he's coming at it the wrong way. At least he's using the lingo that is very abrasive and very aggressive. So, of course, it's not going to be welcome, right? Even though, yeah, he might have a valid point and truth and this and that. But just because something is true doesn't mean you got to say it. And if you say it, find a way to say it the right way. But at the same time, fuck it, that's his way of expression, and he should not be canceled for that. He should be given space to express himself. At the end of the day, it's a free world. It should be, right? But it's clearly not. The guy has been canceled from all the. He has been canceled from all the. From Google, no Gmail, no what? I mean, no Uber, whatever. Like the guy literally is no. They try to cancel him from the internet completely. Fake free entertainment. People agree and disagree because of his tone, somewhat like Kevin Samuels. Yes, 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 definitely, definitely. But you cannot deny what this guy. They do have points about a lot of things. You may not agree. Again, the delivery is not the best, but it is what it is, and that doesn't make them necessarily perfect or imperfect. It just makes them who they are, and people with opinions, strong opinions, and you don't have to listen to what they say. You don't have to agree with them, and you can always debate them, which I think the the Dinalva conversation we had last week, because Dinalva Tavares was on that Just Pearly Things show where he was invited, Andrew Tate, on that panel with several of the women. And the guy was decent. Yes, he said a few things harshly, but he was extremely polite, well behaved, made a loud time. So for me, again, I think when you rub certain people of the wrong way, because of the fact that they hate you or they hate whatever you say, especially in today's world where everything's so polarized. Fake free entertainment, the aggressiveness of in his tone, that's what I mean. Yeah, exactly. So eventually, well, you're gonna have enemies and lots of enemies, especially if on top of that you boldly and rudely display your wealth and your financial capacities. If there's one thing that a lot of people hate, that's that. And yeah, it is what it is. Now, he tweeted at Greta Thunberg. I don't even know what the fuck he tweeted her for, whichever reason, but and then 3 days later he was taken to jail. Well, I don't think it's related, but indeed it's a bit weird, and it can fuel any sorts of conspiracy theories. However, I definitely have to say that what I've noticed that was a bit weird was the fact that it was well set up. There was cameras, there was press, there was it was the media was it was done to really create some sort of back press for the guy, and that's anyways. So the reason why he's being framed, Keisha says, might have nothing to do with his opinion about women and maybe more with his ties with the Romanian mafia. When you talk with certain people, you walk in the shadows. Absolutely, absolutely, I agree. Same style as Kevin Samuels, but Kevin Samuels was definitely not messing around with the Romanian mafia or any mafias for what we know. So I agree with you. I think that's one of the problems with a lot of people when they start messing around with certain forces. It's like you've got to know your place, especially if you're in that world where you deal with powerful people. You tend to understand the dynamics, and you tend to learn that, know when to shut your mouth. Know your place, know when to shut your mouth, and be cool. Problem is that I think if that reveals that happens to be true, then it will be something that can prejudice him tremendously. Now, let me see if I can show you that article. Shit, how do I do that? No, I can't. Anyways, I'll read the article. Basically, fake free entertainment. The Vice documentary coming out just as Andrew Tate goes to jail. Exactly. That's another thing that so I was watching Fresh and Fit podcast yesterday about Andrew Tate. They did a whole podcast about him. Well, those guys also, I think I mean, look, that's another crew. So those are the pro Andrew Tate, and man, a lot of these guys, I'm sorry, man, they make no sense. I mean, I understand their position, but then at the same time, it's like, two things can be true at the same time, right? The guy could be a woman. He could be abusing women, and at the same time being this and that and the other. So again, not saying that he again, you gotta show the proof that he has. Yes, definitely there's the voice notes, There's a couple of things that are very, very weirdly put together that looks like they just try to freaking, um, screw the guy for sure, and that seems to be rather apparent. However, also the fact that some of the girls that he had this conversation where he was doing this dominatrix thing, or he was talking to them in extremely harsh and weird ways. Supposedly, some of these girls, or one of these girls came out, especially that video. I think the girl came out and said that this was consensual, etc. So yeah, the fact that just showing his messages and not the message of the girls, it's a bit weird. Anyways, the article came out on GameRevolution.com. I just typed Andrew Tate, and that's the first article that came out, written by Daniel Falconer. GameRevolution.com. Andrew Tate breaks silence on human trafficking accusations. As he's tweeting, evidence doesn't exist. That came out today, January 16th, 2023. So basically, okay, before I read that, Keisha, apparently people say that the voice note from Vice are AI generated from his text with a girl, but if we don't have the girls, yeah, that's true. That's okay. That's the thing. So those guys from Fresh and Fit was playing the text, and indeed it sounded, yeah. And they played other videos of Andrew Tate talking, and yes, yeah. I mean, obviously, we could trick our minds to hear that, to tell ourselves that even though it might be his voice, it's not. But indeed, we cannot deny the fact that AI is able to copy, to emulate, our voices, our way we speak, the way we speak, right, etc. I mean, as Keisha demonstrated beautifully on his show last week, ChatGPT is a proof of that. So yeah, we should be careful. And I think one interesting thing might be for the companies that's going to develop the kind of technologies to be able to prove that AI is being used in certain cases to frame somebody, etc. You guys know what Fake Free Entertainment? You know what that Vice? You guys know that Vice deleted and re-uploaded the documentary? No, I didn't know that. Man, this story, man. Andrew Tate. I mean, this guy. I mean, I just feel like they. I don't know. We're gonna unfolding. We'll see. Anyway, so reading this article by Daniel Falconer, Andrew Tate has taken to Twitter to break his silence over claims he has been involved in human trafficking. Tate sent out a tweet yesterday, January. So that was written today, and the tweet was sent out yesterday, the 15th of January, 2023, proclaiming his innocence, and says that the Romanian authorities will not find any evidence for the alleged crime, as it doesn't exist. It comes after both he and his brother were arrested on December the 29th, 2022, and a failed appeal to be released from the detention center at which Tate is being held. Andrew Tate rejects human trafficking accusations in a new tweet response. Andrew Tate posted on Twitter this weekend to say that anybody who thinks he's a human trafficker should go and take their 10th vaccine, should go and take their 10th vaccine, and claim that the authorities in Romania who have arrested both him and his brother Tristan on those suspicion have zero victims, zero proof. The tweet also sees him allege that he was detained so that the investigators could look for evidence, but instead but insisted that it won't be found because it doesn't exist. And so the guy put a screenshot. If you go to Cobra Tate, his Twitter page, you'll see what he wrote. Tate's claims are in contrast to what investigators have previously stated. They said that 6 women have been identified as potential victims. However, and let's take in consideration the wording, potential victims, right? So technically should be innocent until proven guilty. So anyway, previously stated that they said that 6 women have been identified as potential victims. However, 2 of the women, involved in the case have now gone public, denying that they have been mistreated by the brothers. Here you go. Both had tattoos supporting Tate, one reading "Property of Tate" and the other thing "Tate Girl," uh, and worked in the Bucharest compound where the brothers lived, along with the models who worked in their adult entertainment business. Entertainment business. Okay, I think those are the two girls that were interviewed by the Romanian press, and they actually were freed from jail. So they started exposing these other girls, saying that they were willingly there. I mean, you could clearly see on the videos, the footage, the security camera footage, that those girls were, flashing pom poms and ass and twerking. So yeah, that's right, Papa K. The click economy, crazy, crazy, fake free entertainment. Um, because there's a large pro Andrew Tate community, Vice turned the comments off on the re-upload of the documentary. Okay, here you go. Hey, and that's the thing. So they're trying to shut down, but this really ticks all the wrong boxes, man. Because okay, if he's indeed a human trafficker, they need to prove it, and if they can't prove it, then it's fucked up, and that's gonna mess them up. But they might find a way to still screw him over, him and his brother, and maintain him in jail, or find they, whatever. They'll You never know. But if it is true, he should indeed be prosecuted. But it looks, anyways. Yeah, you can discuss, of course, his ways of treating women, etc. Without a doubt. I mean, seriously, yeah, it's not for me. But and I don't condone that shit. But yeah, some women like that, man. I mean, you cannot deny the fact that some women or men like this kind of shit. Like, yeah, I know it's hard for a lot of people to hear that, but it is true. Does it make it right? No, but it's their freedom, it's their bodies. We live in a free world, supposedly, right? It's democracy, isn't it? So, if people want to do what they want to do, let them do what they want to do. Otherwise, then you're gonna have to start canceling everybody and muting everybody, because all those who point fingers, I'm certain if we start digging into the private life, we might find out a lot of shit too. So I'm not pro or against the guy. I just look at a lot of people being framed, being flagged, being canceled for shit that, they say, things that they believe. It may not necessarily be what I believe, etc. But then, there's just too much nonsense at the moment, and we hear certain voices more than others. And this virtue signaling, generation is annoying as fuck, but yeah, a lot of people are into SMBD as well, for sure, Papaki. I agree. So, at the end of the day, and that's another thing, right? Which I found to be interesting, because a lot of these women talking about that guy, right, Tate, when they were, talking with him, they had nothing but, positive comment to say about him. He was so polite, so kind, respectful. And then the moment these allegations came around, I don't condone any of the things this guy made, did, whatever. It's like, why are you guys so quick to define yourself? Like, it's okay. Hey, staring as fuck. Meghan Markle said you are next. Lord, let me laugh, man. If anybody's next, it's got to be you, okay? Actually, because you've done quite a lot of shows. Actually, you milked that Harry and Meghan conversation a lot. They might come for you. They'll be like, yo, because at times you defend her, at times you don't. So she might have mixed signals from you, man. She'll be like, yo, what's going on? Keisha, you need to take sides. Did you see that? I just looked for Meghan Markle and Prince Harry slam Jeremy Clarkson public apology for offensive article. Here we go. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are speaking out. That's on MSN.com news. are speaking out against Jeremy Clarkson's new public apology for the offensive article he wrote about the Duchess of Sussex in December. The 62 years old British broadcaster shared a statement on Instagram Monday expressing remorse for writing the controversial article that was published in the Sun last month. Okay, anyways. This woman, she gets offended for everything, anyways. Oh, God. You know, I'm ready. She's going to get under the Congolese spell for reals. For real, Papa K. So, yeah, that's pretty much that, man. I mean, look, man, this polarized world is just you cannot say anything, you cannot make jokes anymore. Oh, this is like, dude, at the end of the day, like, calm the fuck down. Oh Lord. You know, fake for entertainment. Andrew is a good salesman and he knows how to show it. Women in front of him go head over heels, and on the other hand, woman far from him just says he's a misogynist. Look, man. Again, two things can be true at the same time. It could be a very decent guy, very decent, but it could also be in his personal. I don't know if his misogynist applies, but it definitely has a way of treating and speaking to women that is, it seems he likes. Actually, put it this way: it seems to like BDSM, sort of like vibe. He kind of likes the rough sex. I mean, it looks like it. He's ready to kill for that woman. You're talking about Prince Harry, right? Shit, yeah. Le gars est vraiment pris par vraiment les jus de miel. Ah, Seigneur. Oh, Papa Laga. But this guy, man, Prince Harry, I'm sorry. I didn't have much respect for him then, but I have less for respect for him now. Lord, your own dad, man. Come on. What kind of beef is that? You're doing your therapy in a book, throwing your dad, your brother, your entire family under the bus and saying, I love you. Man, no. Le Nyaroul, papa, que le Nyaroul, la magie du Nyaroul. Oh, vraiment. Papa Keisha, it's crazy how all these Democrats are the friends of censorship and Marxism. Preach, Papa, preach. I could not agree more, man. And that's not to say that the right is right. But unfortunately, we have to say that, well, both right and left have lost their ways, man. Big time. The left is becoming, well, anyways, that's another conversation for another time. But, well, the left has not really done much good shit, man. They've done some good shit, but they've done also some fucked up shit. Just like the right, of course. Both of them actually. As a matter of fact, unfortunately, we don't the answer is in the center. The answer is in the center, and it's a question of finding harmony between, going, from one side to the other, being intelligent, being able to review your point of view, your observation about a given specific situation, and, at times make adjustments, and also, change your mind about a decision or something you had said and said, okay, well, now it doesn't apply anymore. Let's fix this. No. It works. No, it doesn't. And that's the funny thing. People want certain things to change, but then they don't want some others to actually change it, which is like, look, you don't want certain laws. You want certain laws of the 18th century or the early 19th century or whatnot to not be changed. Shit that applied to a world that is no longer existing. You want those to change, but then other shit, no, you're like, no, let's keep it that way. You can't have it your cake and eat it at the same time, man. I'm sorry, Papa Kesha, politics is a business. Too much money involved. That's right. But talking about that guy, Prince Harry, man, no. Because last week I let you guys speak, and obviously a lot of things had folded through the week until, yesterday and such. So, the guy, man, no. Mia, it's a disgrace. And if I see the guy, I don't think I can even I mean, I don't have empathy for people like that. No matter what you've gone through. I might be able to listen. No, man. Even though, look, again, I'm not saying if the dad was a fucking monster, and maybe he's. I mean, God knows, maybe they did some shit with him. If you listen to all these, conspiracy theorists, etc., as they call them, well, maybe Prince Harry, and the thing is that he plays into the thing because the royal family, the English royal family, has been accused of so many things, blood sacrifices, this and that and the other. Well, yet to be proven. But again, yeah, what he's doing now is like he's fucking shit up, man. Like at the end of the day, look, it's his life, it's his family. They do whatever they want, but all I'm saying is that yeah, it shouldn't desecrate your family like that, man. It's not. It's just for whether it's for a woman or for a man. It's no, it's not. It's not worth it. Um, yeah, we don't know his story, man. And to be honest with you, I mean, the fact that he's doing what he's doing doesn't make me want to know his story. That's the thing, you know. Maybe again, he has his reasons. Everybody has their own reasons. But he said in his book that he's been taking a lot of drugs. Okay, here you go. But that you see, and then so he says things in his book, and then he goes back and say, I didn't say these things in my book. Like, bro, like pick a struggle, man. Figure out what have you said. It's annoying. Hmm? Papa Kesha, even his wife was pregnant. Even when his wife was pregnant, he was sniffing her love guy. What? He was sniffing her love gas. Hi. I'm a bit confused. What did you write here, Papa? No, the guy is fried. I mean, look, man, these guys are degenerates, man. With all due respect, huh? That's why he's just where he is. His brother is the guy. His brother is the next king anyway in line anyway. So, all good. Apart for them, that idiot can be whatever he wants to be, but I cannot respect somebody that just does such a thing. It's one thing to speak about your family, but there's ways. Like, come on, man. Like, well, anyways, it's free. At the end of that's another thing. That's another proof that freedom of speech. Well, it's free, and we are free to think what we think, but it's free to express himself. It's a free world. It comes with the consequences that it will come with or not. But the problem is that this guy's never been really held accountable for any of the things that he's done. Non, il est dans la sauce. Il est dans la sauce fort. Là, la go, la mou. Joe. De toute façon, je ne sais pas quel goût son affaire a, mais en tout cas, désolé, c'est pas un manque de respect, hein, mais vraiment bon. Vraiment, but if you abuse, you get high. Of course. Na ba sauce moambe, vraiment, ba moambe. Vraiment désolé, hein. Je suis troublé de l'amour. Oh bébé, oui, je vais te sauver. Vraiment. Ta famille, hein? En tout cas, family, as always, a pleasure. We had a good time today. It was deep. It was fun. I appreciate all of your contributions. I don't appreciate the bullying of Papa Keisha, saying that I had a snot in my nose. These people, man. It's fine. Oh, Lord have mercy. Papa Keisha, did you go? He's 38, acting like a teenager. Of course. What did Dinava said about him? He's an overgrown kid or overgrown. I don't know. I forgot what she said. She put it very nicely. Oh Lord, it's a child. Come on, and you expect us to respect you? Y a rien. Tu vaux rien. You're merdeux. Posting about the fact that he killed 25 Talibans. Are you mad? This represents a threat for your family. Oh, I never said that. Bro, it's written in your book. What are you talking about? Je vais rien lever du tout. Fous-moi la paix. Non, mais attends. No, man. You see, that's the thing. And this is why, this new world we live in, people are taking too much freedom. Because back then, very quickly, you'll see somebody fixing that shit quick with some assassination, some shit like that. They are lucky that now it's like, everything is out there, so yeah, a bit more scared maybe. But even then, he's lucky because he's also the son of, and they know him as he's the little Dumbo of the family, maybe, or whatever. So, like, it's okay, leave him, it's fine. But shit like that are dangerous, man. If it was some other people, I don't know if they would still be here today. Uh, Look, that's why again the guy still benefits. So he's showing that he's actually, as a matter of fact, he's demonstrating that he benefits from advantages because of his position and because he's who he is. That's why he's allowing himself to do what he's doing because, in a way, he's intouchable. Yeah, but they will probably, well, anyways, you never know. You never know. Vraiment, 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 vraiment. Oh no. Anyways, look, it's their lives. Let me not feed into the frenzy of commenting about these people, but we cannot just act like it's not happening because it's appalling. It's appalling indeed. Once again, family, have a beautiful rest of your week. This was Monday Quality Talks 61. Thank you for the donations. Thank you very much indeed. Papa Keisha, thank you as well. Fake Free Entertainment LLC for your donations tonight. Most appreciated. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Emery Agnon, Mountain of Inspiration, of course. Soro Umbo. Who else? La Milliardaire, of course. Always showing up in the comments. Exotic Treasure, Ralph Peck, MCJ's Art Studio, Rosa M. Thank you all, queens and kings, for your beautiful contribution and being present on the show and in the comments. As always, you're most appreciated. And yeah, as I said, have a beautiful rest of your week. Be safe. Be grateful because, no matter what, we're here and we make the best with what we got. And, when life gives you lemon, you know what to do with it. Yeah? Beautiful family. On ensemble, c'est ça qui est la douceur. Bavia bango, bavia bango. You're gonna see my outro. Hey man. I'm hooking up this show. Hopefully you guys like the outro as well. So yeah, let me stop this music here and then show you the outro video to say goodbye. Hey Lord, we're trying to get professionalized. Bon, bisous à tous et à toutes. On est ensemble.